Now, Chief Clark goes around in race number 1 there on Saturday and is coming off a win 3 starts ago. Has drawn a wide barrier there in race 1 with CK Tarn to take the ride. And working up on the sand on Tuesday morning, that is Chief Clark, who's won 4 from 43 starts overall and is coming off an unplaced effort here on the 12th of June. Chief Clark goes around in the Mustang Handicap. Now let's have a look at a couple of last start winners. Purple Rain Lady is working up on the outside of stablemate INTROIT, and Purple Rain Lady coming off a victory over 1600 metres here on the 18th of June, and that was in soft going over 1600 metres. Goes over the same trip again there on Saturday, has good form in wet going, and INTROIT coming off a last start win here on the same day. Both horses go around in race 1, and Purple Rain Lady will be ridden by S. Saddam, draws the outside barrier. INTROIT from barrier 3. AM Izat will take the ride. Now this is Supreme Justice coming off an unplaced effort after racing on speed and backed up 6 days from his previous performance where he ran second over the 1400 metres, and that was back on the 12th of June. El D'Souza will take the ride on Supreme Justice. He draws barrier 7 there in race 1, Supreme Justice. Now Star Choice is coming off a last start win going back to the 11th of June and will be freshened up for Saturday's outing there in race number 2. And Reuven, once again, he'll take the ride. He was aboard the gelding when he won over 1400 metres last start. So that is Star Choice. He draws barrier 6 in the quarter handicap race number 2, Star Choice. Now this is the 13-year-old Joyful. He goes around in race 2 as well. AK Lim will take the rider. Coming up for start 110. He's had 12 wins overall and draws barrier 10 in the second on the program. And that is Joyful, who's had 7 runs this year. Now this is Cherish, whose form has tapered off in recent outings and was a winner earlier this year going back to April. Reuven will be back in the saddle there with Cherish, and Reuven has ridden the horse to victory previously, coming off an unplaced effort here on the 12th of June. Cherish draws barrier 9, goes around in race 3, the Arabian Handicap. Now let's have a look at Nature is Speaking. That's him working up on the inside of stablemate My First Million. Nature is Speaking draws the outside barrier there in race number 3. Still yet to break through in 14 race starts, has placed on a few occasions, however, coming off an unplaced effort down the straight course last start. That is Nature is Speaking, who goes around in race 2. Now Speedy Swallow will be first up in the Arabian Handicap, draws the pole with S. Saddam aboard and is coming off a last start second over 1400 metres, and that was in soft going back to the 24th of April, which was its best performance in a 5-start career so far. So that is Speedy Swallow, who goes around in race number 3 there on Saturday. Now Golden Rooster draws the outside barrier there in race 4. CK Tarn will take the rider and is coming off an unplaced effort on the 12th of June. Prior to that, just outside the placings on the 28th of May, that race over 1200 metres, has won once in 35 starts, and that win's going back over 2 years ago. Golden Rooster goes around in race 4. Now this is Determined to Win, having its 3rd run back in Class 5 company. Goes around in race number 4. Jackie Trois will take the ride and draws well in barrier 2. Can settle on speed in the Marolri Handicap, the race over 1300 metres, and is coming off a last start midfield placing on the 12th of June. So that is Determined to Win, who goes around in race 4. Now this is You Are Special, striding out nicely on the grass on Tuesday morning, working up to another win. Was successful here over 1,400 metres going back to the 23rd of April, and went down narrowly last start over 1,400 metres. Looking to go one better. Once again, HS Skill takes the ride, and after scratchings goes into barrier 9. That is You Are Special, who goes around in the Appaloosa handicap. That is race 5. Now let's have a look at the Kevin Coatsy pair. Once a Thief is working up on the inside of Rock Me Easy, which won't be going around, but Once a Thief goes around in race number 6. He's been entrenched at the bottom of Class 5 for several months now, coming off 2 placings from his last 3 starts, the most recent over 1,400 metres, and that was back on the 11th of June. Once a Thief will be ridden by the apprentice SN Shiva and draws gate 4, and Once a Thief goes around in the 6th on the program. That is the paint handicap. Once a Thief working up on the inside of Rock Me Easy. Now this is the 12-year-old mare Sweet Lodge, and she is engaged in the paint handicap as well, and still competitive at Class 5 level. Runner-up behind the informed Taiwan captain here at the last meeting, and that race was over the mile in soft going. Back to 1,300 metres. She is a previous winner over the journey. Sweet Lodge draws barrier 1. HS Skill takes the ride. Sweet Lodge goes around in race 6. Now Butch Cassidy also goes around in race 6. Was unplaced here at the last meeting in the race won by Yes Bossy down the straight course. Hasn't won for quite some time, has Butch Cassidy. 3 wins from 57 starts. Its last win was back in October 2019. Working up okay on the sand on Tuesday morning. Butch Cassidy draws barrier 2 in race 6. Now, Real Our Star is engaged in the Frisian Stakes. That is race 7. Real Our Star is working up on the outside of stablemate Purple Rain, and Real Our Star very always close off the mark there, and normally races on speed. Saddam once again does take the ride and has been competitive at this level for quite some time. Steps up to the 1,200, was unplaced over the 1,000 last start. Purple Rain, the horse on the inside, goes around in race number 10. Looks a very good chance in his race as well. Real Our Star working up on the outside of Purple Rain. Cheyenne Singer Roy is engaged in race number 7, the Frisian Stakes, a race over 1,200 metres, and was unplaced over 1,000 when first up for a while. The horse, formerly known as Golden Slam, will be second up, and Jackie Twa takes the ride. Cheyenne Singer Roy working up on the inside of stablemate Quasar there on Tuesday morning. Now, Not Usual Prince will be second up there in race 7 with our Reuven to take the ride, and raced on speed before dropping away over 1,400 metres last time out. That was on the 12th of June, and in soft going as well. So back in journey on this occasion. Not Usual Prince goes around in race 7 there on Saturday. Now we've got the stablemates working alongside one another. LIMFS Dashing is on the outside of Diamond Rush. LIMFS Dashing draws barrier 2 in the Frisian Stakes, and HS Skill will take the ride, coming off an unplaced effort behind stablemate Grand Cross last start, and was placed on successive occasions in Penang over the 13 and again over the 1,200 prior to that. LIMFS Dashing, quite a reliable customer, and LIMFS Dashing will be going around in race 7, and that's him working up on the outside of stablemate Diamond Rush. MacArthur goes in the 8th on the program. That is the Class 4 1,200 metre contest. coming off a couple of unplaced runs since winning at Ipoh going back to the 24th of April. So can improve on recent performances there. That is MacArthur. He draws barrier 3 with R. Reuven to take the ride. MacArthur goes around in the Lippizan handicap. Now let's have a look at Place Your Bet, working up on the inside of stablemate Matt Rock, and Place Your Bet goes around in race number 8, coming off a last start placing in Class 4 grade, having its third run back in Class 4 company. AK Lim takes the ride. Place Your Bet, working up on the outside of stablemate Matt Rock. Silent Boss will be second up in the 8th of the program. A.R. Amon, the apprentice, will take the ride and rides the gelding for the first time. Silent Boss coming off an unplaced effort there in soft going back to the 12th of June. Has won 6 races overall from 51 starts, has a good record at the track and journey, has won 3 times at the trip, and that is Silent Boss, who draws barrier number 10 in race 8. Now this is Discreetly Red, who also goes around in race 8, and S. Saddam will take the ride. Has got very good form in wet going, but did win on the good going back 3 runs ago to the 28th of May. That race over 1,400 metres. Continues to race well, wasn't far away over the 1,400 last start going back 2 weeks ago. Discreetly Red goes around in race number 8. Now, Aspen will be one to watch first up there in race number 9. Has been off the scene since October last year. CK Tan takes a ride and comes out of barrier 2 after scratchings. So that is Aspen. Has not won a race for quite some time, but like I said, will be first up from the long break and goes well fresh as a rule. That is Aspen, who goes around in the Gypsy Handicap race 9. Always Great engaged in race number 9 and draws the pole position. Will be ridden by El D'Souza. Coming off some unplaced efforts there in Class 4 company. Going down in the ratings back to the bottom end of Class 4 nowadays is Always Great. He normally races on speed. Always one for the trifectas. That is Always Great, who goes around in the Gypsy Handicap. And Delete Saint will be the bottom weight there in race number 9 on Saturday, with S.U. Lim to take the ride. Coming off some only fair form, hasn't won since November last year. It's had several runs now for the Asmadi camp, and Elite Saint draws barrier 9. It will come into barrier 7 after the scratchings. That is Elite Saint. He's engaged in the Gypsy Handicap. That is race 9 on Saturday.